You know, are they pulling that over on purpose?
Yeah, I'm like, really?
I don't know what they had happening, over that way. I really didn't look very closely, but I saw at one point they were flying really low in there.
They're probably doing what we call reconning,
Okay.
where they're just checking the fire out or something with probably someone, we could have officials looking at it or just, someone related to the fire attack, just seeing what they can get before they cut off that aircraft.
Welcome to our weather. That's why you're paying for it.
Speaking of the helicopter, it's like they know.
Yeah, I've only been to one and it was a small one.
Okay. Yeah. Up there? No, I'm fine. Okay, perfect.
Yes, ma'am.
Welcome to the 6 p.m. press conference here on the CZU complex. My name is Jonathan Cox. I'm the Deputy Chief for CAL FIRE, San Mateo Santa Cruz unit, and the line officer here on this incident. Just as always, if you can mute your telephones, take any conversations outside the press briefing area, and keep your masks on at all times, it would be greatly appreciated. Just wanted to set a little bit of context again. I know we did this a few days ago. This evening we can report that across California, since August 15th, 1.25 million acres of land have burned in the last just over 10 days. To give you a sense of point of reference, that's larger than the state of Delaware that we've seen consumed in the state of California over that period of time. Additionally, across the state, there's still over 136,000 people evacuated from their homes and communities, and there's over 100 aircraft assigned specifically to fight fires in the state at this moment. With that, we've dropped over 2.7 million gallons of retardant on these fires over the last 10 plus days. And obviously, there's additional resources coming in from throughout the western United States to help us fight these fires. A little bit about the specifics of the CZU complex this evening. We can confirm that the fire is up to 79,640 acres. As we spoke about the other day, this number is going to get more and more specific as time goes on as we gain better intelligence. We have good news in the sense that we're up to 19% containment on the fire. As you know, every percent of containment is hours and hours of sweat and blood up on those lines, actually getting containment in the fire perimeter. As far as the number of structures threatened, there's still over 24,000 structures that are threatened throughout the complex. And we unfortunately can confirm this evening that we are up to 443 structures that have been destroyed on this incident. The breakdown of that specifically, 11 of those structures are in San Mateo County and 432 in Santa Cruz County. With that, we are now up to 1,697 personnel assigned to the incident. And this afternoon, about 2 o'clock, working with the Santa Clara County Sheriff's Office and Santa Clara County Fire Department, the first evacuation warnings in Santa Clara County were lifted on this incident, which is a sign of progress in the right direction. With that, we're very lucky this evening to have an honorable guest, U.S. Congresswoman Anna Eshoo.
Thank you very much. Excuse me. Thank you very much, Chief. Well, it's been quite a day for me. I was fortunate enough to be driven from the Sheriff's Office in Santa Cruz County with Sheriff Jim Hart, our outstanding sheriff. Saw firsthand the Emergency Operations Center that is housed in his building, and it was room after room after room of teams, whether they are law enforcement, fire, you name it, they are there. I went to the evacuation center at the county fairgrounds. I think every person in this entire region, I wish they could see what the team has done. In less than a week, they've really set up a community. And there's been an outpouring from the community in terms of clothing, food from restaurants, really a medical center that has been set up. All across this effort is the teamwork that I see taking place. It's one thing for me to be working the phones, calling the DOD, calling the state director of OES, talking to the National Guard, all about assets, assets, assets. But to be on the ground and to see firsthand what law enforcement, together with CAL FIRE and all of the other agencies in the county coming together and working seamlessly, I would say this is really a picture of government that is working very, very well for people. It's moving. It is heartrending in some situations. I don't know what it feels like to think that I might lose my home. And I try to imagine it. But everyone that is part of this team that's standing in back of me, those that are standing in front of me, they know what it is. They know what it is. These are first-rate professionals. I think that the progress that has been made is really quite remarkable. For a number of days, we were at 0% containment. Then we inched up to 3 or 4. When I saw 8, my heart leapt, and you just heard the report. We had something to eat, just not all that far away. And there were not only blues there were orange jumpsuits. And those are the individuals from the California Department of Corrections. They too have been trained in firefighting. Not that many people know that, and I didn't. And although they're not here, I want to thank them for doing their fair share as well. So I salute all of our first responders, the real heroes in our country, truly the heroes in this community. And God willing that the weather cooperates, they can do their work. And the percentage of the containment, I think, will continue to increase. And we will keep welcoming the news of more people being able to go back to their homes. So I have to tell you that I'll be going home this evening with a much higher level of confidence than I had when I was driving over the hill to come to visit. And I want to thank you all. This is not easy work, and I call it God's work because everyone is in service to the people in this community. And this community is a very tight-knit community. They all know each other. And So, God willing, we will continue this progress. But for everything that you made me aware of today, showed me firsthand, answering all the questions, I salute all of you and I thank you. And thank you, Sheriff Hart, for making me your guest. The poor man kept saying, come on, you have to stop talking. We have to keep going. So thank you for your patience and for the hospitality that everyone has extended to me. I'm proud of the people of my district, very proud. The courage of the residents, the courage of the firefighters, the courage and the dedication of the people that are taking care of each other in such a professional and caring way. It brings great credit to this congressional district. I think it's an eloquent statement about it. So God bless all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Congresswoman. Speaking next from CAL FIRE Incident Management Team 3, Operations Section Chief Mark Brunton.
Good evening. So another very positive day, another progressive day that we got a lot done, a lot of work out in the line, a lot of success today. Again, the weather is cooperating with us. We've been steadily getting newer reinforcements, a lot of personnel. As soon as we get them in, checking in, we're putting them out in the line. We're putting them to work in our plan, and we're having a lot of success with that. So I'd like to just take you around the horn with the fire really quickly. Again, up in Division Gulf and Kilo, we have a really good line established. The fire is back down to that line. It's being in more of a patrol status. And what's very critical and important about that piece of line was that was one we were concerned with that might drive into potentially Santa Clara County. As you heard earlier, that the evacuation warning has been lifted, and that's because we have very good confidence and we have a good control in that part of the line. So a lot of success there. That's been a lot of days in the making. Moving around to Branch 1, those communities such as Pescadero, La Honda, Lomar, fire is creeping down there and in Butano, but it's doing exactly what we want. It's part of our strategy. So although it may seem that the fire is burning, it is, but it's simply creeping down to our control lines where we can take best advantage and use our limited resources to extinguish that and make that safe and make those communities safe where we can start talking eventually about a repopulation plan. Moving down the coast, some of the fire is self-mitigated in the lighter fuels and due to the humidity and the marine influence. So that's really a good thing, especially moving down into the community of Davenport. Looking really good there. Fire is kind of hung up on the hill. So we're just going to wait for the weather conditions to change slightly so we can take advantage of it, bringing it down to our control line that we have established around that community. In the south here, holding very well. This has always been a concern for us so that the fire does not progress in a southerly fashion to threaten the community of Santa Cruz and the UC campus. Again, our control lines that we've established and our secondary control lines, still valid, still working. The fire has bumped into some of that and extinguished it exactly what we wanted to do. And so we're looking really good, high level of confidence in that, our line in our suppression activities there. Around the community of Felton, we're working diligently of burning some line around about half to 3/4 of that community. We have another line that we're establishing and going to do a burnout operation probably Thursday, looking at the conditions are going to be right for that. And once that's completed, then that's really going to put a really good buffer, a really good line around that community of Felton, and that'll give us a high level of confidence that that community is going to be very safe from any sort of oncoming fire front. Moving up towards Ben Lomond in the state park, we've got, again, one of our challenging areas, the topography, the fuels and so forth. That's an area that we're working diligently in. We're putting a lot of resources in. It's just really tough, difficult terrain to work in. And so, again, we've used our alternative strategies to mitigate that issue and to have success in that. And in the coming days, I think we're going to have a lot of success. Moving up into Ben Lomond, Boulder Creek, those communities are still looking really good. We have a lot of resources working in and above those communities up in the hillside. Again, tough, steep terrain to work in, but we're having day-by-day success, and we're getting those control lines established. Moving into Bonnie Doon. Again, that's looking fantastic. I was up there again this afternoon. We're seeing a lot less smoke. The crews are in there working very diligently. working around the structures. Like I said, it's a painstaking process, a lot of homes, and with our limited resources, we have to go almost home by home, putting line around it, securing it, mopping it up, making sure that it's safe in that community, and we're having a lot of success on that venue. We have a lot of the utility companies starting to move in and starting to developing their plans and starting to do work to start reestablishing the infrastructure that's going to be needed. And until the infrastructure is established, set up, repaired, then we can start looking at a repopulation. And that's any of these communities. So we're aggressively, as soon as we can get it safe enough for those folks to move in, then we're bringing them in, and they're starting their hard work. So that's really good. As far as the continuing challenge we've had with the folks that have been evacuated and have been causing us some concern and hindering some of our operations, I want to thank Sheriff Hart and his staff has done an outstanding job of policing, and they've gotten in there. And I got to say, it's the first time in over a week that we've got up there, and it was almost a ghost town. And that's what we needed, because now my crews are in there unhindered, doing the work they need to do. They're not distracted having to perform rescues or any of the other things, or concerned about their safety. They're just getting there, nose down, putting in the hard work to make that community safe. Our air program, our aircraft, we're flying again today. We're timing out our aircraft, means we're flying to the maximum we can. Water dropping as of just about an hour ago. We were at about 195,000 gallons that have been dropped today. We still have a few hours left of flight time, and so we are going to at least meet or exceed the amount that we dropped yesterday. That was 200,000 gallons. That's a lot of water dropping. That's in support of our crews on the ground and working together. We're getting that much closer to mitigating this incident and getting folks closer to getting back home and this fire being put away and put to bed.
Speaking next from the Santa Cruz County Sheriff's Office is Chief Deputy Chris Clark.
Good evening. So continuing along that same theme of positive news, really this is the second operational period we've had without seeing any arrests. And so I really think that's a testament to the saturation that your deputies and your officers have been doing, the saturation of policing effort within the San Lorenzo Valley, that we didn't have to make an arrest today. In terms of numbers, as I mentioned, today we had 76 officers in total patrolling the San Lorenzo Valley. We'll do that again tonight with roughly about the same number, 66, with 18 from our office, 18 from our in-county partners, and then 30 mutual aid from over the hill. In terms of calls for service, we had 4 welfare checks that our office responded to, as well as 13 suspicious person calls. In terms, and there's been a lot of outpouring of support for the firefighter who had his wallet stolen. Just today, the sheriff received calls from as far east as New York. And I think everybody's just as disturbed as we are with regards to that kind of thing. But our detectives are making some significant progress in that, and so we hope to be able to share with you more information as that goes along. In terms of folks we did contact, we did end up contacting 3 different people that we cited for being in a closed evacuation area. In terms of missing persons cases, some positive news on that front as well. So this morning I reported we had a total of 7 missing persons cases. Today we were able to locate 2 of those folks, so now we're down to 5. So 5 missing people total. There's 3 of those cases are from the Bonnie Doon area, 1 from Ben Lomond, and 1 from Boulder Creek. And again, our detectives are working throughout the day and into the evening to locate these people and try to figure out exactly where they are. As you heard earlier, the evacuation notice was lifted for Santa Clara County. Just again, a good reminder to focus on resources like CAL FIRE's website, our Facebook, for information with regards to information concerning our county. I bring that up just so people aren't confused between the 2 counties and the evacuation order being lifted in Santa Clara. Another thing, so in putting ourselves in your position, again, and I've mentioned this before, where we have our own staff, members of our own staff that have been displaced by the fire. And so, and some in areas that are very close to where the fire is actually burning. And so if you're there at night, if you're there tonight and you're wondering, well, how do I know if my home's been damaged? How do I know if my home's okay? So the county's created a website. And really what you do is you go to this website, you put in your address, and you'll be able to get some information, whether or not your home's okay, damaged, or destroyed. Hopefully not destroyed, but it's a resource for you to be able to go to get more information. So I want to give that to you real quick. So that's the website is santacruzcounty.us/fire recovery /damage assessment map, and follow me on this. It's .aspx is in X-ray. So that's, I apologize for the lengthy web address, but santacruzcounty.us/fire recovery /damage assessment map .aspx. Thank you.
Speaking next from the San Mateo County Sheriff's Office is Sergeant Zuno.
Good evening. For San Mateo County, access to the evacuation zones remains restricted. We understand, like Deputy Chief Clark mentioned, we understand that many of you are very anxious to know what's going on with your properties. We're asking the people to please continue to be patient with us. Please do not go to the evacuation centers or to the security checkpoints to ask on the status of your property. We understand that you're very anxious. However, the staff working those locations, they do not have the information. We are working with multiple agencies to inspect the areas that have been damaged and to identify hazards. As this information is available and as we gather information on your properties, we will put it together and make it available to you, and we will also let you know how you can get that information. Some members of the community have asked where they can make donations. For now in San Mateo County, the San Mateo Event Center is collecting supplies for babies. Specifically, they're asking for diapers and baby formula, and they're also collecting school supplies for students. They can be dropped off at the San Mateo Event Center Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And for now, they're asking that only these items be donated. Also, for those in the lastly, in regard to the evacuation zones, we don't have any reports on any suspicious people or looting. We've been hearing rumors about that, but right now, no arrests or people caught conducting any looting in those areas. And lastly, for those in the agricultural business, I have a contact number for you with the San Mateo County Agricultural Commissioner, and that is 650-363-4700. Thank you.
Speaking next and representing all of the Unified Command Agencies is CAL FIRE Incident Management Team 3 Incident Commander Billy C.
Good evening. Obviously, another successful day. Increasing the containment up to 19% is tremendous for us. My team hit the ground running about 7 days ago, and built a plan, executed that plan, put the resources in place, and have been able to accomplish 19% containment on this incident while evacuating with our law enforcement partners over 77,000 people. It says a lot about this area. Everyone's been very hospitable, cooperative. Obviously, our firefighters have been working very, very hard to protect all their assets and all the unburned lands so far. This incident's impacted several people. Firefighting is a dangerous situation to be in. Wildland firefighting, especially here in the western United States, is very dangerous. You hear a lot about our aircraft flying. We timed out our aircraft 3 shifts in a row now. That says a lot about our safety record out there, our personnel organizing and orchestrating that aircraft, both our fixed wing and rotor wing assets out there. Over the course of the last month in the air world, in the wildland firefighting, we've lost 2 tanker pilots on July 30th in the state of Nevada. We lost a helicopter pilot last week in western Fresno County. And just yesterday, we lost a helicopter pilot up in Mount Hood in Oregon. It's a dangerous profession. We take every opportunity to insert every safety mitigation to ensure the safety of our personnel, both on the ground and in the air. So just be advised, we're out there doing the best we can, keeping everyone safe, both the public and our firefighters at all times. Thank you.
Our final speaker this evening, local CAL FIRE Unit Chief from the San Mateo Santa Cruz Unit, Chief Ian Larkin.
Good evening. We're making progress, and I appreciate the assistance from the Santa Cruz County Sheriff's Department to mitigate those issues we were having in some of the areas of the fire where we had civilians in there causing havoc and kind of getting in the way of our operation to make our success of protecting structures and containing the fire with perimeter control. As Chief C said, today was a good day. We've made progress. We're at 19% contained. But I just want to reiterate that it's a dangerous situation, as he alluded to. We have a lot of heavy timber that's been burning for 10 days now, and that heavy timber is going to burn out at some time. It's going to come down. So we have trees coming down all throughout the fire perimeter, on roadways, on private property, throughout the entire fire area. So it's still a dangerous situation, so having the public repopulate that is just not available to us now until we get this area secured and safe for re-entry. Since the damage inspection teams are making significant progress and the county has released their application to show homeowners what the status is of their property, I just want to give a few details of some assistance for those folks that may have had damaged property or destroyed property. So they can start the process by getting ahead of the curve if they're able to confirm their property has been damaged by going to disasterassistance.gov. That's disasterassistance.gov. These are resources that will help them get started in that recovery process. Also, they can download the FEMA app. They can go. It's available on Android and Apple platforms. And once again, that's the FEMA app. Or they can call, if they don't have the ability to download the application, they can call 1-800-621-FEMA. That's 1-800-621-FEMA. With that, I just want to thank everybody, Chief C and Team 3, for the effort they're putting forward. I want to extend my appreciation to both the San Mateo County and the Santa Cruz County Sheriff's Department. The true interoperation coordination that's going on between the multidisciplinary agencies is of the most professional manner that I've ever seen on an incident that I've been on. The collaboration and cooperation is just outstanding. So it's a pleasure to be a part of that and work towards the mitigation of this incident. Thank you.
All right, happy to take any questions. Yep.
In regards to Scott Valley in particular, you know, the evacuation here with 12,000 plus people, the Emergency Services Act, I think, makes reference to immediate or imminent threat. Is there an immediate or imminent threat here? And either way, when should people expect you to return to Scott Valley, these areas far from fire in particular?
Yeah, so the question was related to imminent threat for evacuation areas and when can people expect to return. So for firefighting, as we've seen on this fire, until we have line that's established around the fire perimeter and that line holds for over 24 hours, that's when we feel comfortable actually calling something or an area contained or a percentage containment. And as Chief Brunton mentioned, the terrain on this side of the fire, on the kind of southeast corner of the area, it's almost vertical timber with 3 feet of forest duff underneath. And to create a line in that area is not simply running a bulldozer through it. It's hundreds and hundreds of hours of work for those firefighters on the ground. So, I think we want to get people back in as quickly as possible. The team is focused, has dedicated an entire team for a 24-hour-a-day operation to work on repopulation and re-energization and all the plans that are necessary. But with that, we're not going to sacrifice potentially putting people in harm's way.
Robert Aldana with my Scott Valley. Quick question. You may have references, my apologies if I missed that, but as we stand here, we see the Felton area, behind Felton area. We've got a lot more smoke and activity there. Can you speak to that? Any specific concerns that you have, or is that kind of, can you speak to that?
Yeah, I'll get the expert up here. The question was really in relation to the area around Felton, and Chief Brunton will be able to answer that.
Well, certainly, with the clear skies, we have a front row seat. And What you're seeing there with the smoke, quite a bit of smoke production is a matter of a couple things. One, as I said, some of that terrain is very inhospitable. It's really tough to work in. So part of our strategies is to build our control lines and to let the fire slowly work its way down to those control lines, and then we can extinguish it. And then we may be doing it based on, again, certain weather conditions, certain fuel conditions, and also certain topographical conditions that will establish the line, let it burn to a certain point, and then we will introduce some fire in a very controlled fashion to eliminate that threat and thereby create a good buffer zone. That helps expedite that whole process of making a control line. So what you're seeing now is we are in a process. I would anticipate that process being within the next 48 to 72 hours, where we were going to have success. We'll have the right conditions to pull off that operation. As I mentioned earlier, we are right now constructing that line. We're making preparations to do a small burn operation. We anticipate that the conditions should be right around Thursday to do that, in which that'll help put that nice buffer around the community of Felton.
Yeah.
Question for Deputy Clark. Can you provide more information in terms of the 2 people you found, what you found them, and any search effort underway for the other 5 people?
So the question is related to the 2 people that were found and any additional information about those that are missing.
Sure. So in terms of the 2 people we did find, obviously that's through contacting them directly, making contact with them and them telling us where they are, and we make sure that they're all right. With regards to the other people that are missing, we have detectives that are, again, tracking down people that know them, looking for people that may have had contact with them, and then trying to get into areas where they may have resided. And if that area is impacted by fire, obviously we're waiting for that area to be clear before we can get in there to do further investigation.
And as you're up in Bonnie Doon, you mentioned it's really house by house that you're going at. Can you talk about the role that defensible space plays? And is it obvious as you're up there who has defensible space and doesn't around their house?
Sure. So the question is the role of defensible space in the Bonnie Doon area, and is it easily identifiable for firefighters? Chief Brunton.
No, absolutely. CAL FIRE is for many years under the Public Resources Code 4291 instituted a defensible space inspection program. The importance of defensible space. A number of years ago, we increased that amount of defensible space based on our fires that we've encountered, that maybe the original intent and distance was not enough, so that was increased. Some modifications to that code established so that we gave better protection to the structures that we have. Also, building standards. There's been a variety of things. Land use planning, the agency has embarked upon and working with our cooperators to improve the survivability of the structures in our wildland-urban interface. So in this particular case, as we see throughout the state, and our team is deployed on fires throughout the state, up and down the state, we see a variety of situations. We see excellent situations where people have done their defensible space, they've done their due diligence, they've done what they need to do, and it gives us a fighting chance, whether we're there, and at times when we aren't able to be there because of limited resources, a large fire front early on in the incident, that it can survive itself. And then we unfortunately see many times, more so than not, a lot of people have not done their due diligence and they do not have the defensible space, and the fire will take and destroy or damage their homes. In this case, in Bonnie Doon, I think you see the full variety of it. You'll see a number of structures that were destroyed that did not have their defensible space. Unfortunately, we saw a lot of that. Talking to the crews that were not only the initial attack companies, but the other the other responders that were there throughout this incident when things were really intense as far as the fire intensity and running of the fire, that they were not able to defend a lot of structures because as they went in to assess the structure, they found that people had not done their part. The construction types were not conducive to us to be successful in battling that structure. So what we have to do at times is we have to make the very difficult decision to triage structures. We have very limited resources, a lot of structures to defend, a fast-moving fire front, do the best what we can. So we're going to take the best opportunity we can based on the best chances And that's based on those homes that have the best defensible space. And that's where we had successes. And you can drive up and down through there and look, and it's very apparent and very clear. And this is a textbook case of where folks that did their defensible space, those homes are standing today. And you know, kudos to those folks that did it, because now they have a home standing because they did their part.
All right, we have time for about one more question.
Deputy Park, I'm just curious about how many people do you think are still living in evacuated areas overall, and has that number changed since some of the efforts that you were mentioning earlier? Maybe you could summarize some of those efforts too.
So the question was related to how many people who may still be in the evacuated zone and efforts that are underway.
Sure. So you know, going door to door like we did throughout the entire evacuation area, obviously that was a huge task. Thousands of homes, about 350. I think the number is 347 people we made contact with who said that they would rather ride this fire out than leave. And obviously we encouraged them to leave for their safety, but our number was 347.
Is that still the case?
That is still the case. Now, granted, if people didn't answer the door or they're hiding from us, there could be other mitigating circumstances there, but 347 different houses told us they wanted to stay put.
All right, thanks everybody for joining us. We'll see everybody back here at 6 a.m. tomorrow. This concludes the 6 p.m. press conference.